Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on Haul Out the Halloween, Hallmark's bold Halloween-themed entry in the Haul Out franchise, and hear from Lacey Chabert herself as she reveals the tricks and treats that went into creating this spooky, cozy, heartwarming film. Lacey opens by confessing how unusual it felt to step away from her signature Christmas territory and into the haunted lanes of October. After years of holiday sweaters, pine garlands, and holly, shifting into jack-o'-lanterns, cobwebs, and witches' hats was both thrilling and strange. She jokes that making a Halloween movie with Hallmark felt like cheating on Christmas, but she admits she and her character wrestled with that same feeling. She also notes that the movie marks her first time doing a Halloween Hallmark project, which gave her fresh creative energy. She describes how the film allowed her to explore a more comedic tone, bigger laughs, more playful nods, more whimsy, while still keeping the emotional core that Hallmark is known for. One of the first big revelations Lacey offers is about the Easter eggs hidden throughout the film. She says from the start, the creative team leaned into pop culture winks. There's a plastic line, a cheeky reference to Mean Girls, inserted in a way that feels playful without overwhelming the story. She also mentions how the director, Maclean Nelson, was game to play with small nods to Halloween Town, The Wizard of Oz, The Real Housewives, and more, weaving them into moments that fans can catch if they're watching closely. Lacey admits she sometimes pulled herself back from going too far with references so they wouldn't overshadow the characters or tone. She wants those winks to feel like fun discoveries for fans, not distractions. One of the more delightfully chaotic scenes she talks about is the Wizard of Oz bit with Melissa Peterman. That sequence nearly broke her. She confesses she was laughing between takes so much she had tears in her eyes and struggled to maintain composure for the takes. She says the challenge was balancing spontaneity, timing, and not derailing the take. Comedic timing in ensemble scenes, especially with someone like Melissa Peterman, takes a fine balance. Behind every laugh-heavy scene, Chabert emphasizes the love and trust among the cast. She describes the set as feeling like a family gathering, where people anticipated each other's moves, where laughter was inevitable, and where messing up lines sometimes made the scene even better. She says the hardest thing was stopping themselves from laughing during takes, but that mutual respect and chemistry kept everything grounded. Another secret she shares is how it was important to the filmmakers to preserve the heart and legacy of the Evergreen Lane franchise, even while shifting tone. The story doesn't simply swap Christmas for Halloween. It layers emotional stakes, nostalgia, and character growth. For example, when new neighbors Luna and Marvin show up with over-the-top Halloween displays, the tension isn't just about decoration wars. It forces the established characters to revisit rules, memories, and what tradition truly means. Lacey also remarks that the wedding sequence in the film brought genuine emotion to everyone on set. There were moments she says she found herself crying, overwhelmed by how beautifully the community and narrative arcs came together. She recounts one moment where Stephen Tobolowsky reminisced about a mosquito on his head mid-scene, and that small, absurd detail broke the seriousness in the best possible way. Speaking of Stephen Tobolowsky, Lacey praises his storytelling, his presence, and how infectious his energy is. She says that when Stephen laughed, everyone else wanted to laugh. She also jokes there's a rule. Melissa must be present in any scene with Stephen, because she's the closer in comedy, her delivery often lands the final laugh. Lacey touches on the casting of Kimberly J. Brown and Daniel Counts, longtime friends of hers, as the Halloween-obsessed couple. She says that bringing real-life friendships into the set gave them a sense of ease, trust, and fun from day one. She notes that Kim has been in her life since childhood. They even did Les Miserables together at a young age. So to reunite as neighbors, working side by side, was something special for her. Kimberly, in turn, told press that stepping into the Haul Out universe felt like joining a family she already admired. She had been a fan, knew the characters, and was honored to help shift the lane into a new spooky energy. Daniel also shared how getting to act opposite someone he's known and adored added warmth to every scene. Lacey reveals that during filming in Salt Lake City, they all felt the energy of switching seasons. The crew and cast leaned into building sets, decorations, practical effects, pumpkins, fog, skeletons, lighting, that felt playful without being cliché. The balance between whimsical and grounded was always top of mind. Throughout interviews, she mentions how important it was that the Halloween spectacle still serves character arcs. She didn't want decorations to be just window dressing. They had to reflect internal shifts. The more outrageous the facade, the more vulnerable the emotional undercurrent. She also addresses that working on a Halloween film with Hallmark came with unique challenges. Hallmark's brand leans cozy, sentimental, romantic. To blend that with spookiness, you must walk a line. She says they were careful not to tip into horror or scare territory. They wanted charm, playfulness, not jump scares. That required script tweaks, visual cues, tone checks, and collaborative editing. Lacey reflects on how the shift changed her own acting approach. She allowed more looseness, more whimsy, more improvisation. She leaned into playful beats, trusted her co-stars more, and permitted small imperfections because in comedy, shot in sequence those with the storyline's emotional arcs. The progression, from tension to conflict to resolution, was echoed in how they decorated and interacted. For example, when Emily and Jared return from their honeymoon and see the Halloween takeover, that disorientation parallels their own relational recalibrations. Another layer she reveals is how the HOA rules in the movie were more than plot devices. They were symbolic. Through the enforcement of decorative restrictions, the characters confront grief, tradition, control, fear of change. The rules become metaphors. She notes she appreciated that the writing gave space for those reflections, even amid comedic moments. Lacey points out that doing this movie broadened Hallmark's seasonal palette. She hopes this is not a one-off, that Hallmark could embrace more genres around other holidays, more tonal variety. She welcomes the idea of stories that step outside snowflakes and Christmas trees, to explore new corners of emotion and charm. She admits that stepping out of her usual Christmas bubble was vulnerable. What if fans rejected it? But as filming progressed, she says she felt joy in taking risks, in discovering new dimensions of the Evergreen Lane world. The positive energy and audience reception reassured her hope. Toward the end, Lacey highlights one personal moment she loved. Watching the neighbors unite over creative decorations, seeing characters who once clashed now find joy in collaboration. That arc, the letting go of rigid control, embracing whimsy, forging connection, is what she says stays with her. She hopes viewers will rewatch, pause, look for the tiny nods and hidden jokes, but also catch the emotional beats. That's where the heart of Haul Out the Halloween lies, she believes, not just in candy and costumes, but in belonging, renewal, and the possibility of reinvention. She closes by thanking fans for letting her bring a new flavor to Evergreen Lane, for being willing to stroll into eerie yards with her, and for embracing a fresh holiday spirit. She teases that the Haul Out world may have more surprises ahead, and hopes they'll stick around. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.